thought I might give you my opinions on the investment potential for each. Welcome to this week's video. I'm Antonia from timpanis.com. Click here to find out all about us. Today I'm going to be talking to you about which Chanel bag I believe could potentially be the best investment. The Chanel reissue or the Chanel Classic. Before we dive into some information about the investment, I thought I might just run through a really quick history of each bag. So the bag you see here is actually called the reissue bag, and this was reissued by Karl Lagerfeld in 2005 on the 50th anniversary of the original Chanel 2.5 created by Coco Chanel herself. And the reissue bag features the Mademoiselle lock, so that's this rectangular style lock, and actually, strictly speaking, this itself shouldn't be called the reissue. It should have been kept solely for those bags released in 2005, but it has actually become known as such. Now, this classic CC flap might be the one you're more used to looking at, and this one was designed by Karl Lagerfeld in the 1980s. So other than the fact that I've already pointed out the difference in the two locks, something else you might want to notice is the difference in the texture and style of the leather. The flap, whether it's in the quilted lambskin or in the caviar, has a slightly more plush and luxurious finish compared to the leather of the reissue, which is slightly more distressed looking. With regards to the hardware on the reissue is actually a little bit tarnished, a little bit dulled out compared to the hardware on the classic flap, which is a lot brighter. And also you can see that the chain on the classic flap is interwoven with leather, whereas on the reissue it is not. The other thing to note is that they do also come in slightly different sizes as well. Which bag you prefer is naturally personal preference. Some might even want one of each, or I guess you could have a different size in each one. Perhaps this one is slightly more understated, more for running around town, whereas this might be more for an evening or a night out. But to be honest, I think they both look perfect on any occasion. Having looked a little bit in detail about each piece, I thought I might give you my opinions on the investment potential for each. On a very rudimentary basis, Timpanis conducted our own little poll, and we asked our 8,000 Instagram followers which bag they preferred. And can you guess what they said? I'd be really interested to know in the comments which one you preferred, to see if it lines up. 88% they said that they preferred the CC. Now, does that affect the investment potential? In fact, it does a little bit, because you have to look to the second-hand market to be able to sell your Chanel. And if the second-hand market have a preference for one or other of the type of bags, then that means you have a better chance of releasing the equity in your bag. You really have to look at what is selling on the second-hand market. On a very rudimentary basis, the CC came out on top. But how about if we actually look at prices over time? Looking at the 5 years up to 2017, the reissue bag increased their prices by 70%. However, in the same time period, the classic CC flap increased their prices by double that at 140%. Based on that, I would suggest that at the present time, the classic CC flap would indeed be the better of the two investments. However, I do think it's important to note that fashion is about trends, and logos are at the moment quite on trend. It is foreseeable that in the future the Mademoiselle could potentially overtake the classic flap as an investment. There's also another thing to note, that when I'm talking about a bag as an investment, I'm considering that you're going to buy it and keep it in the same condition as which you bought it. That enables you to sell it for the absolute maximum price that you possibly can on the second-hand market. I'd also recommend, if you are buying for investment, that you do buy something really pristine on the pre-loved market, because very much like a car, as you drive your Chanel bag off the forecourt or out of a new Chanel store, it does immediately lose a little bit of value because you cannot sell it for a new price on the second-hand market. So guys, I think that pretty much rounds up my video for this week. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share the love with someone you love, and I'll see you back here same time next weekend. Take care guys, bye.